Oh, hey Tom.
Hey,
All right, here I'm going to bring that up because that's what we're getting right into. So, Tom, it's time to talk about the Nova Open preview reveal show, buddy. You excited?
uh, yeah, it looks fantastic.
Oh, this was an amazing show. Like, really, I mean that. This was beyond amazing, dude. This is
Okay,
one of the best
set the scene.
shows they've done. Period. They knocked this out of the park. We said that last time too, but
Yeah,
this time I mean it. So I'm excited. You ready to get into this stuff?
let's do it.
All right, cool. Okay, so I'm going to jump over to this screen,
Yep.
and that should come up for everybody. So this is the Nova Open preview page, and obviously we're not just going to talk through what's here. I'm going to try to give insights as well as to what we
Yeah,
talked about in the show. So we'll
totally.
try to go a little deeper. But here we go. All right. So 40k stuff. I'm not going to watch the Psychic Awakening video. We can play some of these, but I'm not going to play this one. It's not endless spells. It is the new campaign. So that's cool. Big giant event. It's a very sad video. As I said, 40k. The as near as I can tell, the lore thematics is everyone is sad and then they die. So, but it's a big campaign that gets to update everything. So that's very exciting.
Cool.
Uh, you can see, yes, a plastic aspect warrior, which I guess is a big deal. And then you've got a Shrike, a new Shrike model, which I'll tell you, this elicited an amazing amount of people who were very excited. I had no idea this
Like,
dude was that
Is
popular.
that is that the guy in the white armor?
This guy?
Which I can't see this
Oh,
guy.
yeah.
Come on, man.
I'm sorry. Yes, Shrike is the guy in the black and white armor. Yes.
Oh, black and white. Got it. I thought
Yes.
it was like I thought it was the dude, the Eldar with the red bright hair.
No, that is a plastic aspect warrior. Yes, you're talking about
Got
this
it.
guy.
Got
All
it.
right. So, anyways, yes, a funny video, and everybody was very excited about Chapter Master Shrike. So,
Good.
cool.
Good for
Necromunda,
him.
they gave a little tease that they're introducing Chaos Cultists. Middle
Mhm.
Earth, the war in Rohan is coming. I'm skipping this stuff very quickly that isn't super relevant to our concerns, which is
Yeah.
like
The
AOS.
buildings are pretty sweet, though.
These are cool. I wanted to spend a moment to talk about these. So these are new plastic buildings. They said they're going to talk more about all the stuff in the Middle Earth show, which I'm not going to be able to attend.
Yep.
But what's cool about it is this. So just like the AOS terrain
Yep.
with the dioceses and stuff is modular.
Yep.
This is modular in the same way. So you see how like this front of this piece connects here and
Yep.
these little side sponson connects to the house. You can build this in lots of different ways.
Nice.
Um so uh so in other words, like you get to it could be really good AOS terrain.
Yeah.
Because you can build this in a lot of different ways. It can be a lot of different buildings. Super cool stuff. So,
Cool.
as they say, it's very modular, flexible, and scalable. And so you can build even like really, really big buildings with this. So,
Sweet.
very, very cool stuff. I was super excited about that. The rest of the minis, obviously, we don't play Middle Earth, so I wasn't like they look cool, but okay.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
like
so now we get to the first big one, which is Warcry. So if you
that.
scan down to the Warcry section, yes. So
Yep.
our book is Monsters and Mercenaries.
Yep.
And so, okay. For those of you who played Mordheim back in the day, you may remember that there were the concept of like mercenaries, like pretty powerful people that you could hire and would sort of temporarily stay in your warband for an amount of time before they sort of passed on, right?
You're not talking about like dramatis personae.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
main
yeah. Yes,
characters.
that's what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Because there were both. Dramatis personae were like specialized mercenaries.
Yeah. So this is probably more it's a little of both.
It's like I always used to buy an elf ranger.
Yeah,
Because,
sure. The good old Elf Ranger. The old ballistic skill 5 cheating Elf Ranger. Yes.
extra dice, exploration.
Of course. Yeah, he was always a winner. Um so the uh so this is monsters and mercenaries. So the mercenaries are, you can hire these powerful people. Like they have the Dark Oath War Queen here. She's an example of somebody that can join
Good.
up. She's one of the mercs.
Glad she's
And
going to get table time.
yeah. It'll be good to actually see her have a purpose. That's exciting. And they stay with your warband for some limited amount of time. And they didn't explain exactly how like the hiring / moving on mechanism works. But clearly there's some method where, you find them, they join up, and then they eventually go away.
Excellent.
And then the monsters is exactly what it sounds like. So here they have the Chimera in the picture, right? So that's pretty awesome, right?
Totally. Yeah.
So it will be the Chaos monsters, but they also confirmed in the Q&A that it's not just Chaos monsters.
Nice.
That there will be some other beasties who are available as well.
So you're saying there's a chance that my Ragnarok could hit the table?
It's possible. I'd like maybe the riderless version. It's possible.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like one of the silk strand assassin ones.
Yeah. I mean, he's about the same price as a Chimera, right? Isn't he 230 or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Like 240 maybe.
I thought he got cheaper, but I don't know.
Well, he probably did.
At any rate, so this is a really cool expansion. Like, I'm stoked for this. I think it's funny that you and I made a joke literally about the Chimera in Warcry like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I was how is your warband going to kill this thing? It's going to have like 100 wounds. And I'm pretty sure that's exactly what's going to happen, right? It's this giant monster the size of a house that'll have like 100 wounds.
It'll be delightful. I'm looking forward to it.
So this is pretty great. This is the first expansion. One of the things that he mentioned in the talk, and this is a really fine point to put on it, that they don't say in the article, is that they have a 3-year plan of releases for Warcry, basically.
Oh, good.
So that's fantastic. So we've got lots of stuff to come, right? Like, for those people who complained or said, like, oh, Warcry is too simple.
Yeah.
My argument would be...
Just wait.
Yeah, just wait, right? Like, of course it should be... of course it's going to get more...
Relatively simple.
Yes. Someone is knocking on my door. Why is someone knocking on my door at a hotel? I don't know.
I don't know. It's probably somebody who knows what your room is and they're stalking you.
Could be. I'm gonna go see who's knocking on my door. Talk about Warcry for a minute, and Tom, why are you excited?
So one of the interesting things that I've discovered in the exploration of my terrain, like my Warcry terrain, has been that if you have any of the Dominion of Sigmar stuff, like the buildings from the Warcry stuff fit right on top of the Dominion of Sigmar stuff. So the actual dimensions of some of the Warcry buildings fit right on top. And one of the fascinating things about it is that because it's the same stone stuff, you can paint it very similar, so that it literally looks like people have just built these makeshift forts on top of the Dominion of Sigmar stuff. So a little neat kind of hint for those that are kind of playing around with the terrain. While this stuff isn't fully modular, there's some neat aesthetic elements that really tie it all together if you want to put it on the table together.
Agreed. So it's funny, the people in the chat are like, don't answer the door, you'll get murdered. First of all, I'm not worried about getting murdered at Nova. Secondly,
they're like, it's Martin, don't answer it.
Sure. Secondly, there was no one out there anywhere in the hallway, so it was a ghost. So that's cool. Nova is haunted. Haunting confirmed. Okay. Cool. So that's Warcry. Now, Tom, are you ready? Are we ready, Tom? Are we ready for the thing we actually all showed up for? Right?
You mean the bone train?
Yeah, it's time for the Bone Daddies. I'm officially submitting that name. I used it in the thing and said awesome release on the Bone Daddies. The Bone Daddies are here. All right. So you can watch the video on your own. Let's just get right to these figures because these are better pictures. So we've got the infantry. Before we get into actually, let's just pause on these infantry for a moment. So I'm going to leave it on the infantry and talk about what's going on here.
Okay.
So the Okay, we're back. Hey, Tom.
Weird. So that
Yeah,
happened.
that happened. Sorry, guys. I have to rely on hotel internet here. There's nothing else that can be done. So that's just the way it is. I'll put the show together when it's all done. I promise. Hopefully, people will join us back in the new one, and hopefully, people will come over here and see that the new one is live. Let's get back into this and talk about these bone daddies. All right, you
Yeah.
ready?
Sure. Let's do it.
Okay. So these aren't skeletons. They're assembled. They're manufactured warriors. So they're made actually
They're
like
construct.
exactly. They're all constructs. Everything in this army is a construct. And in fact, many of them have multiple souls put inside them. Okay. So they don't just use like again trading on like the soul currency. Um the they have multiple bodies, multiple different types that they construct these things out of, and then they shove an appropriate number of mishmashed souls in there based on that.
Power of the bodies.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So, um, this is like their basic infantry dudes,
Yep.
and you can see the Mortark influence. They
Yep.
or like the Morghasts, right? They did confirm that this book will have Morghasts in it. It will be one of
Nice.
your choices. So that
We
they
talked about that this morning.
absolutely. So they align, and hopefully we're still
We'll have a
there.
flying unit too.
What's that?
We'll have a flying unit, which is the important part here. Right?
Yep. So, yes, they will have a flying unit. Here's their cavalry.
Yep. Pretty sweet. I love it. I love the standards.
Okay, good. Everybody says we're back. All right, it came back up. Good. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back. Hopefully everybody's here now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for hotel internet. So basic infantry, their cavalry, and you got to understand these models are like pretty big. These are all pretty like.
So like, do we
weighty.
have the actual like base sizes?
No, I don't know. They didn't include the base sizes, but when you see them in the big picture, you see just how
Yeah.
big some of these things look, right? I suspect
Right.
these are still just kind of heavier armored skeletons, but like these guys look like pretty solid heavy cav, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They don't have like the frailty that you often get with skeletal models.
Right.
They don't
Exactly.
They don't feel frail. Yeah.
Yes. They're and I suspect they will be heavy armored. They will be pretty elite just based on what they said. This is the guy who actually shoves the spirits into things and also a rumor engine. Remember this rumor engine, Tom?
Yep. I do.
And so these
That's an old rumor. That's one of our first.
it is. This has been around for a while. So as it says, the Kavalos Death Riders are possessed of towering arrogance as suits their role as heralds of the great necromancer. It is important to understand this guy and the Ossiarch Bone Reapers are absolutely a Mortarch and servants of Nagash. So our hopes for like a rebel faction did not come true.
Not at all.
But yes, they are pretty big. Then there's these guys, which are the giant construct warriors, right?
Yeah.
Necropolis stalkers. So each of them has 4 heads and it has 4 different spirits, and you actually can shift personalities with them in mid battle to change the way that they fight. I love this dude on the bottom. You see the guy on the bottom, Tom, where he's got
With
like
double handing the great swords.
Yeah, he's double handing 2 great swords. Yeah. That's amazing. So we've got General Grievous here. He's ready to rock.
You know what I don't like? They're very organic.
Okay.
And like not in a skeletal way organic.
You mean
Like in
because
a
they
huge-
have like fully shaped bone appendages, right?
Yeah, like the bone is so flowy. Like look along all the neck braces.
Sure.
Like, and I recognize like that could be somebody's femur or something like that. But like something just feels too organic, or like too like Tyrannid maybe. Tyrannid might be the closer Like it feels more carapacey
Sure.
and less bony.
Yeah, I can see that. There's some of that going on. The Tyranids have some kind of this same aesthetic right here, like along this guy's arm, like on the back of their plates.
Like, I almost expect them to have bug heads and be Thri-kreen.
Sure. Well, that'd be a good conversion. I think these dudes are amazing. I think I actually would add some big shoulder pads to them. Like, I think they all need the Mortark, or not Mortark, sorry, the Morghast shoulder pads. And I think that would actually change them around. That's all they're missing.
Oh my gosh. Like that instead of those neck.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
That's literally all they're missing. And
Yeah.
you're lock, stock, ready to rock. Because like look at this guy down here who has the extra upper arm blade things, right? Or the bicep things. The lower guy. He looks so much cooler.
Yep. The captain probably.
Yeah, I'm sure it's the champ. Then there's this giant, ridiculous catapult, which I think is actually on the Knight Titan base. Okay.
Like, you just have to love, like, the legs. Like, the centipede-esque character of the catapult.
Yep. It'll walk around on its own, because they gave it a bunch of legs, like a lot of them.
And, like, tusks.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, this thing is insane. Like, this is a heck of a war machine. So pretty freaking awesome. But of course, what we want to talk about is Big Papa himself here. So this is Catacross, the Mortark.
Yep.
The Mortark of the Necropolis. Okay.
Yep.
And this is the guy who was trapped. He's an old buddy of Nagash who had been trapped, and Oleander busted him out.
Yep.
Cutting off the bottom of the pic. Okay. I'll scroll up a bit more. Hopefully that's better, everyone. So the important part about this guy is you'll notice he has all of these people on the base with him, right? So he's got the little scroll guy. He's got some kind of warrior thing.
Yep.
Herald guy. He's got a big warrior bodyguard, and then a bannerman. Yep.
Yep.
So here's how this guy works.
I just want to call out the samurai on that base.
Sure, absolutely.
I just want to point out, we talked about a Tomb Kings-esque release, and that's what this is, folks. It is. That's what this is. It's a non-Western death faction.
Well, he has that type of tenor to his voice, timbre or whatever, right? Yeah. Here's how this guy fights. Okay, we know how monsters decreasing profiles work, right?
Yep.
Okay. The way his works is the first couple wounds, you're fighting the scroll caddy guy. So when he's in that wound category, it's just the scroll dude fighting you. Okay?
Weird.
The next couple wounds, this guy over here goes and fights you. Okay?
Sure.
The next couple wounds, the bannerman whaps you. Then you've got to go through the ultra tough warrior. And then finally at the end, when you get down to the lower part of the wound chart, is when this guy will deign to fight you. You have to show you're worthy to challenge him by killing through all of his henchmen, by climbing down his wound chart. And then when he wades into the fight, so at the low end of the wound chart, he becomes an utter monster, right?
Sure.
So it's kind of like a Scarbrand type of climbing as he, he gets more aggressive as you go down. I suspect he has a ton of wounds. They didn't say this, but I just reading between the lines, it's 5 different models, right? So I'm guessing a ton of wounds.
He's 30 wounds.
Could be. I mean, it could be that insane. Sure. We've never seen anything like that, but he could be 20 or 22 easily, right? That wouldn't be even beyond the pale.
Right. I could see 4 and 4 and then 5 and 5. I mean,
or the first couple guys could be 0 to 2, because the chart doesn't have to follow the normal progression, right? It could be totally off on its own.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's how this dude fights. And they said that like when this guy wades into combat, like when you get down to that point, you know, it's on. It's on like Donkey Kong up here.
Sure.
So
Mechanic. So it sounds like the goal would be to really bad chaff.
nope, we lost it again. It just dropped again.
Oh. That's unfortunate.
All right. Hopefully it comes back up. Yep, looks like it's reloading. Okay. If this happens, we can just reload straight into it. Very nice. Does everyone hear us? Hopefully people say we're back. Okay, there we go. We're back. I apologize for the internet, but I figured out how to fix it and jump right back in. So that's good stuff. So let's keep going. So here's some other things about this army.
But as I said, hold on. So what that means is that we can just basically have really bad chaff and potentially just hold him indefinitely.
Oh, sure. Yeah, if you just throw really weak things at him, sure. Some other interesting things.
Grind through those wounds.
Yeah, some other interesting things about the army. What we've seen here and what you see in the video is not all of the models in the range.
Nice.
Okay. So beyond what was in the video and what is here, there are more models to come still. I don't suspect a lot, but there are more. And we know we've got...
Think we'll get a true bone giant?
Don't know. I mean, it like when you think about that, doesn't that just make sense, Tom? That they would have a giant walking machine of war construct that is just a giant ready to smash into things, right? I mean, that feels correct, yeah?
Yes. That feels like that would be appropriate for this army.
Oh, I'm behind the chat. Okay, cool. Well, we'll see what happens. All right. I want to, like, this is technically the end of the AOS section, but I actually want to stop here and talk about some other things. I'm going to bring Tom back up on the screen real quick here.
Oh, great.
Because I want to talk about some other things that they talked about that aren't in the article. Okay?
Cool.
So, number one
I'm dialed in.
They confirmed the Ogre battle tome we all knew about. They hadn't actually confirmed it before, but they forgot they hadn't mentioned that the tome was coming and said, oh, yeah, there's a tome. We already confirmed that. So, I mean, you know, there's that. We all knew as soon as they said Maw tribes and showed the Ogre that it was going to happen.
Yep.
But it was pretty funny.
I mean, they functionally didn't do that.
Yes. I mean, whatever. It just made me laugh because they were like, we already talked about the tome. And I was like, no, you didn't. But that's okay. I wasn't going to stop them.
That's fantastic.
Isn't that great? Okay. We asked the question about endless spells and terrain for Cities of Sigmar and the Auric War clans.
Yeah.
And the answer is they will not, in the traditional sense, have those things. Okay. That is to say, there's not going to be a new box of endless spells or a new box of terrain with those. He also said they're coming so soon, we're not even going to talk about them because they'll be available really, really soon. So basically expect them in the next couple weeks, right?
Well, that's like we were talking, Vince and I were talking this morning, and I was like, so they'll announce them probably on pre-order this weekend.
Yeah, exactly. However, he said instead of making new boxes, they're going to have some other interesting options along those same lines. You'll see what we mean as we get closer in previews. So my guess is that the Cities of Sigmar probably either have some ability to use some of the existing terrain sets in ways, or ways to like reinforce and defend existing, terrain that happens to be on the table or stuff like that, right? And
like they claim,
And here's my real hope. My hope upon hopes is that they give the war clans the inverse. Remember the old destruction, we could destroy terrain rule?
Yeah.
I hope their ability is the ability to remove and or break, even if it's only in a temporary fashion, right? Like,
burn it down.
yeah. That would be amazing. So, but they said we'll find out soon enough that they won't. The important part is they won't have a traditional separate box of terrain and endless spell release, which honestly I couldn't be more happy about. I didn't want to buy that stuff for both of those armies. I don't think it's a thing that every army should have. I really don't.
Yeah.
Like it should exist if it fits and makes sense. Like shoehorning it into every army just doesn't make sense. I want to see them explore more cool stuff, and it sounds like that's what they're doing here. So I was really, really, really excited to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. What are any other notes I have? All right. So the other thing, it's mentioned later in the article, but there's not really anything to it as far as pictures go. So let's just talk about it here. Is in 40K, they're moving the indexes and a bunch of the old models into Legends. Okay? But they're keeping their points in 40K.
Huh.
And in line with that, all of the Warhammer Legends stuff that exists and that will exist will also get points. Okay? So you can still use all of your Legends stuff in matched play games. However, there will be a prohibition, and they made the separation in the discussion that you and I have made on this show before, that there is a difference between matched play and competitive gaming, competitive tournaments.
Yeah.
So they basically said in a competitive tournament, you can't use Legends models or their points because they will never be updated. They're just in perpetuity. Those are the points. They will get rules updates on edition changes. Okay. So they will have points, and you can play them in your match play games at home, and that's fine. But in a competitive tournament, they are not allowed unless it's specifically a Legends tournament, which obviously you can facilitate now because you actually have points to build armies with, right?
Right.
That was the challenge. Oh, we're offline again. Okay. And we're back. All right. So, yes, they'll have points that will go, basically in perpetuity, right? So you can do Legend specific games and stuff like that. So cool. That's fine. What do you think about that? Oh, why did Tom? You're muted.
Oh, sorry. I don't think it'll ever be used.
Yeah, I mean, I think it enables people who are interested to play the game in their basement and in their home, which is where still the vast majority of Warhammer is played, right? So, like, when you say it'll never be used, I assume you mean in a tournament setting. Oh, come on.
Like, for organized play. Like, there won't be Legends events. And the reason why I say that is not...
Hold on. All right, we're back again.
Okay. All I'm simply acknowledging when we talk about them not being used is that, like, there's not going to be Legends events. Like, somebody can throw a Legends event together, and that's fine. But the reality is that, like, those models are no longer available a majority of the time. Like, that's why they've moved them to Legends. And so that grouping of people able to do those types of events will only ever get smaller forever.
Sure.
And so, like, there's no gas in that. There's no future in that.
I mean, the exciting part to me is just allowing people to use it in their basement. Just use it at home. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what needs to be facilitated, right? We don't actually probably need, in most cases, tournaments of this. But if there's a big enough audience, cool, then do it, right? And that's fine. But it will allow people to use them just for fun in their basement. And that's what's relevant, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Let's move through the rest of this before the stream drops again, because the internet here is terrible. All right, Underworlds, the Grandmasters tournament, the global championship will be at Nova next year, which is super cool. Warhammer Heroes voting starts again on November 28th. I kind of scanned back that, but November 28th. And then this is the Legends talk. They showed some of the Angels of Death thing. This is the Sisters of Battle box that's coming. So it's actually the army set. So it's like 25 miniatures and the book. It comes out on November 2nd, I think is what they said. About 8 weeks from now. What's that?
That's a neat box.
Yeah, it's super cool. I'm happy with that because I wasn't really keen to buy a whole separate Sisters army like all at once and have that hanging over me like the Sword of Damocles, you know?
But now you will.
But now I will. Like, this is exactly the kind of way I wanted to attack this army, right? Start with like 25 of them, do that work. So this is such a great way. I love the Seraphim. I think these look really great. I actually really like the sort of redesign of the helmets. I don't love the guy in the Penitent engine, but I like the Penitent engine model. So I'm going to switch that and just put a different person in there. And then this girl right here, this character with her, you know, this canoness, right? That comes in the army set with her scepter. For those of you to be very jealous, under all of our chairs were taped that model. So we all got our own canoness like 2 months early by the preview seminar. So it's in here.
Wow. Kudos to the person who...
All right. Should be back.
Okay.
There we go. Reloading. Okay. So
yes. So Pete Oprah'd the show.
Pete Oprah'd the show. Yes, that's what's relevant. That's exactly right.
And then people who were sitting next to empty chairs got extra boxes.
There really weren't any empty chairs, but I mean, I'm sure a few people got an extra one. But yeah, there you go. That was it. That was the whole thing. I'm trying to see if I got any other notes since our stream here is very tenuous, and I have no idea if I'm going to need to now download and reassemble 15 different videos.
Yeah, it's possible. I'm excited about the OC I don't know if I know that you were like super into this.
I was. Yeah, I've got a good scheme for them. I'm pretty jazzed for them.
Are you? Yeah.
I don't know that I'll pick them up right away. I might wait until next year and make it like my next year army project, but I'm pretty excited for them.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where like I don't think they're me. Like, they're fine. I don't think that they're me. But I think that it's a neat, I'm glad they exist. Let me say it that way.
Sure. I think they're an awesome addition. I might want to change some of them around. I think they're ultimately very conversion friendly because they're just manufactured, hammered together, constructs. Yeah. So they don't need to adhere to any singular form. Like you saw the heavy cav had like 3 different types of heads, right? One was like a bird and one was like a horse,
It's so very Vanguard-esque.
Yeah. So I just think it's going to be extremely conversion friendly, right? Like if you ever wanted to go truly nuts with a death army, this is your chance.
Yeah, I don't know about that though. Like I hear you say that, but because of their aesthetic is so unique, I think you may be a little bit more limited on conversions than you would think. We'll see.
It could be. So yes, they did confirm the Maw tribes in the talk because they forgot they hadn't confirmed it previously. So that was nice of them. We did the acrylic chemist. We did the Warcry stuff earlier. It's the monsters and mercenaries coming out where you'll be able to use your chaos monsters and beyond, as well as hire temporary mercenaries in like the form of the Dark Oath War Queen and stuff like that. And Tom, would you like to leave on the biggest thing they mentioned?
Sure.
Okay. Watch the stream go offline, right, as I'm about to say this. The biggest thing they mentioned was this. Coming very soon, they are going to make a huge announcement about how Forge World works, what it does, what it produces, and how it works with Games Workshop.
Huh.
They couldn't give any other details than that. They only said very soon expect very big changes with Forge World.
So you know what that means, people? If there are any models that you want from Forge World, get them right now. Right now.
Perhaps.
Like, leave the stream, get them right now.
I don't know that's the case. I suspect, Tom, this is the greatest news we've heard in years. Because I suspect it's Forge World being brought back in.
Maybe. maybe, or you risk discontinuing all the lines and then moving to like booster packs or something crazy.
I'm
you
sure
just
that
don't know.
I'm sure they'll cancel some of the old stuff. Who cares?
Yeah.
There's nothing in AOS. Like, look, personal statement. There's like 4 models in the AOS range that are of any value.
I'm saying if there are models that you like, get them.
Yeah, sure.
That's what I'm saying.
But like Forge World has been, let's call it challenging, in that we haven't had any good AOS releases. We're always struggling to get updated rules that are in line, points that are in line. I love the idea of them being a little closer to the vest. This is just my theory. They didn't say that. That's just theory speculation. Right. They just said they're going to change some big stuff and that it's, in their mind, positive. We'll have to be the judges of that when it gets announced, but they were very excited about it. Okay. Sure. I am personally very excited because I think the ability to produce specialist resin limited run of stuff has so much potential in AOS.
Yep.
For characters, for conversion packs, for a million things. Yes. And they just haven't been done. And I'm hoping if whatever they do with the change means we get that, then I support it 1,000%.
Sure. I agree with that completely.
So there you go. Okay. So with that, that's the end of our thing. So that's the end of the preview.
Day, folks. Sorry about that.
Very sorry about the internet. I'm glad it was able to come back up and we were able to keep reconnecting the same video. So I think there's only 2 I have to reconnect. Now we know next time if it happens, you just immediately end and reconnect and we're good. Then nobody drops. Everybody just stays in the same stream and we're fine. We're learning lessons here, people. I'm sorry about the bad internet, but we'll get there. At any rate, thank you all very much for watching. We'll be back to our normal show next week when I'm back home after Nova. For those of you here at Nova, stop by, say hi. I can't wait to see all of you. I've already saw some of you, and it's been great. I'm looking forward to an awesome convention. And everybody can go ahead and make fun of Tom down in the comments for not being able to be here. That would be really great, and he would appreciate that.
I totally will. Thanks, folks.
But thank you very much to the Games Workshop team. Pete and Andy did a great job, as did everybody else this year. I am very excited to paint up my sister. Now I know what I'm working on as soon as I get my 6th keeper done. There you go. So everybody, thank you very much. We'll see you next time.